Hi, boys and girls. This is Miss Corkins. Welcome back. Welcome back to school. All right, we're getting back into the swing of things after spring break. It's important to note that today we're going to be working on social studies, and we will be working with social studies until the rest of the school year. And we are starting today with Unit 9. Now, Unit 9 is all about the geography of the United States. And today we're going to be covering chapters 1 and 2. Just like if we were in school right now, we are going to be covering 2 chapters a day for social studies. So it's important that you're really keeping up with the pace of the work. Now, during these lessons, Ms. Corkins is going to read 1 chapter to you, and then I expect you to read the other chapter on your own. So let's go ahead and get started. Our objective is I can describe the location of the United States in the Western Hemisphere and in North America and the water and land that surround the United States. That's our objective for Chapter 1. For Chapter 2, it's I can identify the New England region on the map of the United States and describe its climate. So our agenda today, I'm going to read the big question to you. Remember, big questions are the indicators of what the chapter covers. So they're the big main idea of what you're supposed to learn at the end of the chapter. If you're able to answer that big question at the end, you're in pretty good shape of understanding and comprehending what the chapters we're talking about. After I read the big question, I'm going to read chapter 1 to you, and then I'm going to go over the expectations of how to get the reader for chapter 2. I'm also going to explain our student work that's in your distant learning packet and my expectations on that work. And also, don't forget to always check your student email and additional work. We are studying Google Meets this week, and we'll be sending invites through your email, so it's important that you're checking that on your Chromebook. So our chapter 1 big question. So our big question is, how does the narrator describe the location of the United States in relation to Earth's hemispheres, continents, and oceans? So basically this question is asking you, where is the United States in the world around us? Let's listen for that as we're reading the first chapter today. Chapter 1, the United States. Exploring the United States. The United States, excluding Hawaii and Alaska, stretches about 3,000 miles from coast to coast, or east to west. Because of its great size, it is often divided into smaller geographical areas or regions. The states in each region have many things in common, such as geography, including climate, natural resources, economic activity, and other important geographical conditions. Missions explore Earth. As you know, Admiral Zorg, the spaceship that I command, has been exploring the planet known as Earth for almost a year. We have discovered that Earth is very different from our planet, Proteus. Here is a map of the regions of the United States. I want you to see if you can spot which region your state is from. So let's look. Find Ohio. There it is. So if you look at the yellow arrow, it is pointing to our awesome state of Ohio. Now let's look at the key below to see if we can figure out which region Ohio is from. So if you looked at the key, you might have discovered that Ohio is from the region known as the Midwest. We are also a part of this group, including Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois, and more. We have studied its interesting physical features and life forms and reported our observations to you. Now, as our year of exploring draws to a close, there is one last place to explore, the United States of America. We will explore and report on each area of the United States. In each report, we will answer questions such as, which states make up each region? What does the land look like in this region? What plants and animals live there? What is the weather like? What kinds of jobs do people do? What do people eat and drink? And what do they do for fun? These are the regions we will report from the New England, the Mid-Atlantic, the South, the Midwest, the Great Plains, the Rocky Mountains, the Southwest, the West, and the West Coast. There are also 2 states that do not belong to a region because they are not connected to any other state. They are called Alaska and Hawaii. We will send separate reports about these 2 states. We will gather information for a report through observations. When we have questions, we will talk to some of the people we meet. Of course, we will always remember to be disguised as humans. Right now, as I recorded this audio message, we are flying over a huge body of water called the Atlantic Ocean. The next land we will see will be the United States of America, a vast and varied country. The United States of America is reported to be a huge country. Earthlings in other places have described it as having a great variety of land forms and life forms. In addition to the indigenous people who have lived there for thousands of years and the descendants of the first European settlers, I have heard that people traveled from all over the world to live there. As we fly over the Atlantic Ocean, we'll be looking at maps of the United States. Here below is a picture of some Native Americans that lived in the United States for 1,000 years before the first Europeans arrived. As we continue to read the rest of this section, I want you to think of this question. What hemisphere is the United States located? Maps will help us to find the places we want to go. They will also help us to identify the different regions of this vast country. You remember, Admiral, that Earth is shaped like a globe or a sphere. Earthlings divide their world into half globes or hemispheres. They speak of an eastern hemisphere and a western hemisphere. The United States is in the western hemisphere on the continent of North America. A continent is a large landmass that sometimes has islands off its shores. North America is made up of Canada, the United States, the Middle America, which includes Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean islands. Looking at our maps, we see that excluding Alaska and Hawaii, the United States stretch all the way across the continent of North America, a distance about 30,000 miles. On each side of the country, there is a huge body of water called an ocean. On the east side, the United States is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean. On the west side, it is bordered by the Pacific Ocean. The United States also controls territories beyond these borders. In the Caribbean Sea, which is the south of the United States, Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands are U.S. territories. In the Pacific Ocean, Guam, American Samoa, and the Northern Mariana Islands are all U.S. territories. We will not be sending reports about these territories. Lieutenant Kula just informed me that she has sighted land below us. She is pretty sure that it is the state of Maine in the northeastern United States. Our map shows the country is divided into 50 smaller units or states. I expect that's why the country is called the United States. Each of the 50 states has its own government and its own capital city. This is because the United States is a democracy. In other words, it is a system of government in which people rule through elected representatives. The head of the national government, or all the 50 states, is called the president. He lives in a place called Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the United States. Now we are flying low over the coast of Maine. Through our spaceship's porthole, I can see huge gray waves crashing against the rocky cliffs. We will look for a place where people live and land nearby. We are all very excited to meet our first Americans. In my next report, I hope to have plenty to tell you about this interesting country. I have given the order to turn on the invisibility shield and to start our descent. There in that picture below, you can actually see the waves breaking on the coast of Maine. So now that we read this entire chapter, think about it. What hemisphere is the United States located? If you were listening very carefully, you may have found that the United States is located in the Western Hemisphere, and it's on the continent called North America. It's important to note that North America is not just the United States, but it's made up of different parts, different countries. Remember, North America is made up of Canada, United States, Middle America, which includes Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean islands. So now that we've read chapter 1, it's up to you to read chapter 2. Now, you may be wondering, Ms. Corkins, where can I find the reader for chapter 2? Well, you can find the electronic version of the student reader on my Clever page, or the link attached to this YouTube video. If you look at the description of the video, you should see some links there. Now, for chapter 2, it's important if you're having a hard time with the electronic version of tracking the page, there is something that you can do that can help. So here I have a screenshot for if you have the electronic reader, when you pull it up, if you click on view and scroll all the way down to read aloud and activate the read aloud, the student reader should read to you. Now it's important to know that this option does take a little bit longer to read the chapter because it reads at a little bit of a slower pace. However, if that is something that you prefer and you want that extra assistance, this assistance is there for you. So again, all you would have to do is go up to the top of the PDF, you would look for view, go all the way down to the bottom of the read aloud, and then activate the read aloud. Now, at any time you want to deactivate this option, all you'd have to do is go to view, read aloud, and then you'll see instead of activate, there would be the option to deactivate it. This will stop the read aloud right away. So again, you don't have to have this option. It's only if it's easier for you. After you're done with the read aloud, we also have student work pages for the day. So this is the first page for Monday in your distant learning packet for social studies. So you're gonna notice it says start the match, and all you're simply gonna do is you're gonna look at the list that they provided of states and capitals, and you're just matching the states with the capitals, or you're matching the state capitals with the state. So just note that this list is a mixture of states and it's a mixture of capitals, and sometimes you might have to match it with the state or you have to match it with the capital. It just depends. You can use your reader. There are, in the electronic version, there are plenty of maps in there that you can use to help you. You can use the internet if you want to help you look up some of this information, whatever resources you have available to you. This is a little bit of a challenging activity, I get it, but I know you can do it. I would never give you an assignment I don't think you can handle, and I know you're going to make me very proud. So if you do need help, though, please feel free to reach out to me. All right, scholars, so that concludes our lesson for today. But don't forget to review your student checklist in your remote learning packet. Make sure that you're covering all your bases for all of your classes. And it's so important that you're just working on these assignments day by day. I recommend that you don't work super ahead or super advanced, because then you might miss something, or teachers are going to go over expectations for these pages. So it's important that you work at your pace, but that you're doing a little bit every day, so you don't wait to the end and have that panic, oh my God, I have to finish this packet. So again, just take it little by little, and if you ever need help, just reach out to your teachers. We're here to help you. I hope you have a great day. I miss you guys so much. You have no idea. And again, if you ever need anything, please just reach out. Okay. Well, until next time, friends. Bye. Have a good one.